is Steve Garland, head wrestling coach at the University of Virginia, giving my weekly annual video newsletter. I've been struggling a little bit this week in what to talk about and what to share with you guys, because I want to make sure that every video is meaningful in some way. And I thought I would do this. I share with you some of the positive things that have come out of our individual meetings with our guys. When the school year first starts, when the semester first begins, I meet with every freshman individually to sort of start to dig into their heart and start to find out what makes them tick, and also to help settle them, because it's a very unsettling time for them in their young lives. At 18, everything's new, everything's harder. Try to calm them down. But then what I do is I follow up with that with meeting with every single kid on the team. So if there's 40 guys on the roster, I'm sitting down with every guy and making that meeting personal. And what I choose to focus on in those meetings are academic goals and any life points of attack in their life, any relational goals, any things that these guys want to sort of put on their radar in terms of what they want to improve upon, not just the wrestling stuff. And some really cool things get uploaded in those meetings. I've had some guys, well, I'll touch on that in a second, but it's very time consuming. I had 6 meetings yesterday and 9 the day before. But I'll tell you what, it's really rewarding in terms of the guys knowing that they're being invested in, the guys knowing that they're being heard, and then also, obviously, for me to find out what's the best way to reach them, what's the best way to coach them. So here's a few positives that came out of the meetings. First one, there's a level of urgency and a level of commitment collectively as a group with everybody, from the youngest member to the oldest member, that I haven't seen in 9 years. I mean, I've seen good stuff, don't get me wrong, this is no slight at anybody that's wrestled for me, but what I've seen this year collectively, meaning everybody involved, seems to be wrestling, training, eating, sleeping, thinking with a level of urgency and total locked-in commitment to our goals. And I think that started with our first meeting of the year when I talked about going from good to great. I mentioned that in the previous video, and creating that urgency that it's not okay to be a good team, we want to be a great team. Well, how do we do that? And so people are on that path right now. I also want to praise our 5th years and 4th years, our senior leadership, our older guy leadership has been phenomenal, because it starts with them. And I think because they're training and operating at such a level of urgency and locked-in commitment, it's now trickled down to all the other guys. And at the ground floor, the first years, all those first years we have, they see that. They see these older guys they look up to living it out every day, and it pulls them up. And so I've just been absolutely blown away by the locked-in, laser-type focus we have as a program right now. I'm really happy about it. I felt like it was important to share. The second thing, one of my main goals as these guys go through the process here at Virginia is making them understand that literally the world doesn't revolve around them. Is it, go figure, you're actually supposed to be thinking about other people. You have to be intentional about how you approach your thinking, because athletes and wrestlers in general, I would say, are pretty myopic, including myself. We're wired pretty selfishly, and so we're so focused on the me that we forget about the we. And I just feel like it was so amazing for me as I went through these interviews and these meetings with our guys, that he said, well, you know, Joe Spisak mentions, I just really want to sort of invest more in my sisters. I want to be better for them. Another guy said, hey, you know, I have a relationship issue with another guy in my family. I want to make sure that gets better. Another kid told me, he goes, I want to call my grandmother. He goes, I get so locked into my own nonsense here at Virginia, I forget that that woman loves me, and I want to make sure she knows it. Things like that it's really cool to see that relationship pillar of our program. You know, mind, body, academics, relationship, compete in such a way. Those are the pillars of the Virginia way, and that relationship component is big, and it's important, and it's something we stand by. And so to hear those guys talk about those things was really encouraging as a coach. Lastly, what came out of the meetings was our guys are really, really comfortable with our staff dynamic. They're really excited about Keith Gavin, our new coach. They're really excited about Coach Lean. They're excited about what they see in our relationship and how us getting along so well then trickles down to them, and the positive energy in which we're bringing to the table has really lifted them up, and that's been a common theme as well. So I think we're in a really good spot as a program. I'm not promising anything. I don't think that everything's certainly going to be perfect as we move forward, but right now I just want you guys to know that things are going well. The preseason is going well. We feel like we're right on track right now. More next week.